Hello, everyone. It is G with the Roman G's Botanica, and I don't know if you've noticed we haven't been here in the past couple of weeks. Um, I think it was 2 weeks ago there was a technical issue, and it wouldn't. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago now. I've lost track. There was a technical issue, and of course, if you live in Nashville, the next week we were covered in an ice storm, and there was no power. Roy and I were actually in the house in 45-degree temperatures for 7 days straight. So. Um, Here we are. But if you'll notice, the title of today's live does not say tarot. It does not say Friday Tarot Live. It says Friday Live is changing. Come talk about it. So, someone calling my cell phone that I don't know, most likely these days, it's always someone wanting to buy your house. So, Uh, the past couple weeks has given us some time to regroup, rethink. What are we doing? We have done 206, or I have, episodes of Friday live tarot readings. So we're thinking that's probably a wrap on that. We probably answered all that we can on is your boyfriend coming back? Are you going to get that job next week? Um, what do my guides have to say to me? If you want to go back, you can always see 206 episodes in the archives, but we do want to turn into something um, that's to me more useful to return to each week, something that would be evergreen, they call it, where you can go back and learn something. Now, in case you haven't noticed, Lady V is doing tarot pulls and has been for the past several months on YouTube Monday through Friday, every single day. She pulls cards. She doesn't take your questions directly, but she'll pull it based on a a general question from the universe, or if it fits your situation. So you have those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Go to YouTube, look at the shorts. They often appear in our other socials too. But what I thought we might transform these Fridays into were topics like, what is a road opening spell? What is it? Um, Signs your money work is blocked, or how to cleanse a home without using smoke. Things like, I have a list. Why timing still matters, the day of the week, the moon phases, honey jars, what they're for, what they're not for, freezer work, when to do it, when not to do it, about personal concerns and what to do after a run of bad luck, or how to use wards to protect your house. We'll talk about signs and omens and dream work and beginner altar setup and magical housekeeping and sigils and protection for empaths. And so I think that will be able to keep everything fresh, and we'll all learn something each time. Um, and we will be doing it live, and we won't be able to have feedback in the chat room. And you give me your feedback right now in the chat room. What are some of the things you want to see? What I will do with these is they will go live, so I can interact with the people in the chat. And then after the live ends, I will actually unlist the live, edit it, and then re-upload it to YouTube as a regular video. I don't know if you know a lot about the back end of how YouTube works. Our lives really don't get seen by many people because YouTube doesn't serve replays to the public like they would a regular video. So we're not getting the reach that we're wanting to doing just these lives with just tarot readings, because I mean we know a lot. We've been doing this for 26 years. August will be 27 years. So we have a lot to teach. Well, and of course, I always tell people, it doesn't matter how old you are, you still have a lot to learn. And I always learn something new whenever I research a topic. So I like that part too. It's something new, it's something exciting. Many of you have been listening to my Feral Folklorist podcast. Keep doing that. We're in season two now, and it's picking up. In case you haven't returned to it in a little bit, I'm doing something new. It's on every week, where one week is the regular podcast where we go through a story for 30 minutes. And every other week is like a 6 to 8 minute folk tale. I'm just reading a folk tale, which is called Feral Folk Tales. So, doing that show has actually whetted my appetite for expanding into more things. Also, I'm getting a little older. I don't know if many of you have noticed I don't take as many tarot appointments anymore. I am a little more impatient. You would think you would get older and wiser, but sometimes it's tiring hearing the same problems from different people, but it's always the same problems. It's always the same three problems every single week. I didn't go to school to be a therapist. It can wear you out. I would much rather teach magic, teach spell work, teach folklore, folk magic. Maybe sometimes we'll talk about elements of fairy tales, um, things like that. And of course, we're going to have to come up with a name change. It won't be Friday Live Tarot anymore. So I'm thinking about that too. Lisa says, let's see. I really like this change and being able to use it as a resource for learning. Yes, which is what we wanted to do. And also, because I'm doing my podcast weekly and I was doing the Friday Lives, it honestly left me little time to make Aroma G's YouTube content. So this will kill two birds with one stone. Friday Lives will become good YouTube content that we can use, and get back to teaching. Let's see, what other chats? Also, good. Wind Foo Foo likes the change. Victoria says nice. Sorceress Eyes says hi. So yeah, happy hissy fits. It's got smiles in there. Now, what are some other? I had some other ideas listed down too. Um, 5 ways to charge a sigil. How to make a sigil that actually works. Um, Banishing 101. Evil eye. The signs, the myths, the simple protection. Spell jars. What works and what's just aesthetic. Cord cutting. Candle magic basics. How to read a candle burn, like flame, smoke, wax. What to do after a spell. What do? You have to wait and let me tell you in the future. Um, New moon versus full moon, Mercury retrograde, um, deity work for beginners, maybe signs versus confirmation. What's the difference? Offerings explain how you offer offerings to saints and deities. And maybe some shadow work talk without all the therapy speak to it. And what's manifestation versus spell work? Um, and how to stop obsessing over your spell results. That would be a good one. How to start practicing witchcraft. And common beginner mistakes that usually kill results in a spell. The topics just go on and on and on. There's so many things we could talk about. Um, Happy Hissy Fizz, thank you for putting them up the magical papers online. P. Haskins says, am I the only one getting a frozen screen? Lady B, do you see me? Am I frozen or not frozen? Oh, P. Haskins, no longer frozen. I think it was just your internet. Magical papers. What are the magical papers? Let me go to a page and show you. what's going on. Let me share screen. Let's see, 1 second. Share screen, share screen. Here we go. Wait. So if you go to Aroma G's Botanica, you will see a link here that says Magic Papers. If I can get that blog one to quit doing that. Magic Papers. What are the Magic Papers? The Magic Papers is a monthly ritual companion created by Aromages Botanica, part spell sheets, part folklore newsletter, part working guide for the current season. Each issue is written to be used, not just read, featuring rituals tied to the month or upcoming holiday, practical folk magic instruction, and a clear moon phase guide so you know exactly when to work. Now, here's the thing, printed editions are only included with online web orders. That's how we do it. That's how we get people to place an order each month. They want the new magic paper. So that's how you get to get those moon phases um where they're current. Now, some people wanted to see the past issues, so that's what we've done here. Um Here's January's is now up. Past issues, we started in August, September, October, and let me see if I can download one to show you what it looks like. There, it shows up in the screen. Yes, this was January's. And here we got Threshold Candle Spell for the turning of the year. And it's an entire spell, ways to work January magic. January herb of the month. There's always a herb of the month. It's juniper. How to use it, how to do spell work with it, how to make a boundary candle. And then there's always the moon guides. When is the full moon? January was the wolf moon on the 3rd. What kind of magic to do with it? Last quarter, new moon, first quarter, and some January folklore and winter lore. So that you just go to the page on the website that says Magic Papers, and you can see all the past issues. But the only way to get the current issue is to place an online order at aromags.com, AROMAGS.com, or aromagregory.com. Will take you to it. So, yeah, we may even cover some of the things that were covered in Magic Papers. There's a lot of good information. Maybe we'll do some shows on um, holiday magic. When it's suitable, what to do for Yule, what to do for winter protection, Samhain, Mabon, Lunasa, um, threshold magic. God, there's just so many things we can talk about each Friday. So that's what I came on here to tell everyone. I am going to pull some cards to show what the energy of the week is. And we'll probably continue to do that at the end of each regular show is we'll pull some cards for the energy of the week. So that's what I'll be working on this week is what are we going to be talking about next week? In the first new show, I'll be coming up with a name. If you have any ideas, pop them in the chat. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. It is Friday the 13th. What a good day to make changes. Some people in this have come in the store and expressed to me that it was more about seeing me go live than it was about the tarot reading. So hopefully this will be good for everyone. So what's the energy of the week? I'm going to pull 3 cards. The Emperor, the Knight of Cups, and the 3 of Wands. The Emperor. The Emperor is about rules and authority, someone in charge. The Knight of Cups can be about It can be about some idea coming. It can also be about your imagination, triggering your imagination. Maybe someone in authority tells you, "Hey, you got to get more creative with this. This is mundane." And Three of Wands is about preparation and foresight and planning things ahead. So I think this kind of fits with what we've been talking about. The guy in charge of this show said, let's expand our creative boundaries a little bit and plan for the future. So how does this apply to you for this coming week? Do you have some projects that you were just kind of floating by on that you could do better with? More creative, just more. So we got lots of other things going on. New products we're working on in the store. We've got some an old employee came back who is now working on getting more things on the Etsy shop. Um, some people have asked me about my Etsy shop. Etsy is cracking down on spells. So every time I put them back up, they remove them. So I'm just not going to put them up. You can still find my spell work on my website, folkmagicstudio.com. I have a new website that shows everything I do, folklorium.com, and it shows the podcast and my magical work and how to book a reading and all that kind of stuff. Reverend Roy's is healingamulet.com. He's working on some new things. So yeah, it's a time of transformation, of working on new things, reworking old things, making things better, making things more fit, fit who we are and what we do. Um, so I think that's really all I've got this week. Is just wanted to come on here and tell you things are shifting. They're going to shift in a good way. Also, I have had a terrible cold for a week, and that's the first cough I got through. I'm glad. So come back next week. We'll have a name for the show. We'll have our first show. Once you see the title come up, be thinking of your questions that you have, and we'll learn something. So until next time, this is G with Aroma G's Botanica. See you next week with something new. Bye bye.